Hey, it's MBS here, and I'm standing in the middle of a road in Canberra because I love this sign, keep left. You see them all the time in the traffic in Australia, just helping cars to know what side of the road they should be on. And I'm using keep left as an inspiration for a teaching moment because I think there's three key lessons that we can take away from this sense and the power of the word left. So the first one is not right or left, it's actually left in the sense of leaving. And it's one of the key strategies that you might choose to add to your repertoire of how you manage stress and anxiety and hard times. I've been reading some of the works of John Gottman, who writes about relationships all the time, and one of the terms he has popularized is this idea of flooding. Flooding is when the nervous system just becomes overwhelmed with all the stuff that's going on, and I'm sure you've experienced it. I've experienced it too. Those moments where I'm like, I can't actually process this, I can't take this on, I can't figure out what to do because I'm paralyzed, I'm flooded by just the adrenaline, the nervous energy that's going on. And what Gottman says is one of the key ways to manage a sense of flooding is to leave. You need to go away and you need to take 20 minutes to, I think he says, self-soothe, whatever that tactic or what that activity might be for you, to kind of go, I just need to find a way to settle my nervous system down. You know, I know that I will either go for a walk or take a nap. Sometimes I combine the two, or maybe, not really. But this idea that the first meaning of the word left is I left. I had to leave as a way of managing this. I think flooding can happen in moments of conflict. You know, if you're fighting with a colleague or a partner and you're like, I need a time out so that I can settle myself down and think about this differently. The second meaning of left is not leaving, it's what remains. And one of the forms of art that I love is the type of art where it is created by removing stuff. Sculpture is the most famous of those. You know, Michelangelo famously goes, look, a statue is easy, you just cut away all the stuff that doesn't look like an angel. Easier in theory than in practice. I really love particularly kind of wood etching and wood cuts and lino cuts. And there's something quite marvelous as an artist with that, because you actually have to go, what's the image that I'm looking for? And how do I cut away all the stuff that's not part of that image, so that when I ink up the plate or the wood or the lino and kind of roll it out, the image emerges from what's left. And the call to action, I guess, for this insight is, do you know what's essential? Because what you're looking to do is remove what's non-essential and keep focused on what is absolutely essential. And I would say, and I'm just talking for myself here, but it's probably true for you as well, it's remarkable the amount of non-essential stuff that sneaks its way in. Whether that's just because of the system, whether it's because of boundary issues, whether it's just because you're trying to be nice and stuff shows up, but a ruthless ability to go, what's essential here? What's the most important thing? How do I cut away the other things? Is the second meaning of left that I'd like to share with you. So one, I get to leave. Two, I focus on what remains. And then the third element of left, which I thought I would pick up, actually is talking about the difference between left and right. At high school, I spent 6 long years learning Latin, studying Latin. Oh my God, I was the worst student ever in Latin. I was hopeless at it. I remember nothing really of it. But I do remember that the Latin word for left is sinister. The Latin word for right is, not quite sure, I can't quite remember. But Latin word for left is sinister. I think that is really interesting. It has its origin in ancient times where left-handed people were kind of considered a bit dodgy, a bit suspicious, a bit unusual, a bit unexpected. So if we take this meaning of left, the sense of sinister, the question I've got for you is, what is the alternative route? What is the unexpected route? What is the mystical route? What is the woo-woo route? What is the non-predictable route? What's the non-mainstream route? You know, the obvious path is before you. You already know what that is. Whatever, whoever you are, whatever context you're in. The left, the sinister route. What is that? What does that mean? What does that look like? What's the zag when others are zigging? So there we go. Inspired by the sign I just saw in the traffic, keep left. 3 tactics to think about left. One is leave, particularly in times of anxiety and stress. The second is what remains. How do you focus on what's essential? And the third is the alternative meaning of left, the Latin meaning of left, sinister. How do you approach something in an alternative, different, unexpected, perhaps with kind of mystical or dark undertones? How do you take that on? What options does that open up for you? Hey, I hope you've signed up for my newsletter. You'll find it at mbs.works, and it's called The Works with MBS. So you see what I've done there. Every week, a short piece of writing which will help you unlock your greatness and the greatness of those around you.